So, Mark, did you see that video from Fremont Street? A brawl was breaking out. We see tons of videos of fights on Fremont Street. People love to do it. But finally, we have a peacemaker. Somebody came in, brought some kung fu fighting, and everything was resolved.
I don't know if it was a fight or just like drunk stumbling. It was kind of a mess and just people like tripping all over themselves and stuff. And I'm guessing Kung Fu person also was under some sort of influence, but it was pretty funny to watch. And it's always good whenever a fight breaks out to do something somewhat funny and try to calm things down a bit. But yeah, I don't know that would have turned out much of a fight anyway.
I love that the video was to the song Kung Fu Fighting, made the whole thing there. We can't show that sound here, but we'll put a link in the description. You can check it out. Reminds me of about 20 years ago, my dad, who didn't drink very much, we were out on the town and he had a couple drinks and we were walking through Mandalay Bay and the song Kung Fu Fighting came on. And you can imagine what happened next with my goofy dad. So I'll always have those special Vegas memories.
You know what else is good about this video? I didn't see any children in it on Fremont at night. So that's good. That's a plus.
This week we got a surprise in Las Vegas with a drone show. We love drone shows. We talk about them as much as we can. We're waiting for the first permanent drone show to come to Las Vegas. And we thought maybe Rio was going to be the place to do it because this show appeared above Rio. But unfortunately, Vital Vegas says it was just a company kind of demoing their tech and trying to film a promotional video. And we don't think we're going to get a permanent show at Rio. I think it would be the perfect property for it because it's off strip, lots of visibility all around the valley. And this looked like a great show.
Yeah, I think it would draw people, everybody's eyes to the strip. Soon it will be the guitar tower. It's the Sphere right now. If you had a drone show or something, it kind of reminds people that Rio is still there. It's a bit off the strip, so you can see it from a lot of places. So I think it would work. Plaza's doing this with fireworks downtown on Fremont, and that seems to be, drawing people down there, and then they kung fu fight it out. I think Rio does need to do something. I know they've done some lights on the outside, updated some stuff, but I think it would be a good spot for it.
And you mentioned the lights. I think that's a perfect kind of tie-in, right? They have these high-tech LED lights with all of these shows that they're doing. Bringing another element to it would be neat. Of course, Dreamscape's still early in their renovation. I'm sure they've spent a ton of money already, a ton to go, and they have some ideas for where they're going to go with this. But I think this would be great. And it's nice that we're getting more of these, even if they're not like permanent drone shows. We had the F1 drone show. We've had others over the last couple of years. And, back in the day, we talk about all those strip side free attractions and all the space they took up, like the Mirage volcano that we're losing. This is a way to kind of bring that type of thing there without a huge long-term cost and without taking up tons of real estate.
Yeah, I think that's a big key that's missing from Vegas that people really loved back in the day, was having these little things to go check out. It got you walking up and down the strip, got you checking out properties you might not have gone into otherwise. So hopefully they kind of figure out a way that works for them, makes sense financially. And like you said, a drone show is something that doesn't take up real estate, so that would be one thing, or like lights on buildings, building shows, all that type of stuff, like just lighting up the Strat, as we saw a couple months back, made it look totally different and kind of drew the eye to it. So I think those little tweaks and stuff here and there can really make a difference.
So it's pool season in Las Vegas. So I thought we would talk about the nicest pools in Vegas, starting with the Cal. I think Champchaw had shared this picture of the Cal from Circa, and you get to see that pool there and the 9 lounge chairs that they have. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic when I say the best pools in Vegas, but it's just a reminder not every hotel has a giant pool. But California, mostly Hawaiians stay there, and I don't imagine they're really worried too much about swimming when they're in Vegas.
Yeah, this is very depressing. I mean, I always made fun of the Laughlin pools and how sad they were, but at least they might be behind metal bars and they're kind of the same setup. But at least you have a view of the river and trees and stuff. That's how, Champs, when he posted this, said jail time for pools or something like that. And that's the feel you get. And it's just kind of horrible. I wouldn't even have it open. Like what's the point of even having it there if it's that bad?
I just love the fact that there's exactly 9 loungers out there, so much deck space, and only 9. They look nice though. Those loungers do look new and nice, so I'm sure it's a fun prison to be in. But let's talk about another pool that you love, the one that you always love to talk crap about. There's a recent short I came across from JK Stay in Vegas, really cool channel. You should check them out. He was going to Harrah's pool, the Holiday Inn pool, as you like to call it. He changes his clothes, goes down there, and then all he has to say is, not much going on here.
Yeah, I think they had even less than 9 lounge chairs available for free, which is kind of crazy. Everything is like reserved. You have to pay for it. There's nobody there because there's no vibe. There's nothing to do there. It's just a regular old square pool that you see anywhere else. So why would you think that people want to come and pay, 50, $100, whatever they're charging for those loungers is kind of nuts. And it just didn't seem like there's any reason to spend time there unless you just really want to get, some sun during the day. I don't know. Why would you go there?
Because it's Vegas. People dream of coming to Vegas to go to the pools. You get all the advertisements from the LVCVA. You see all these incredible pools in town. And then maybe you don't look at it. You don't look it up. You think every hotel has a great pool. And then you go there and, you got to get that sun time. People want to be outside in the sun.
Sun time when the building's not blocking it, at certain times during the day. Like some of the pools are not the best for sun tanning or laying out or anything like that. You run into issues like Paris pool. Half the pool is like behind, the Eiffel Tower and stuff at times. And it's just like a weird setup because a lot of these are raised pools, on the fifth floor or whatever it be on a rooftop, and not the top rooftop. So you have things blocking you. It's weird. You have to walk across hot pavement. I don't know. Pick the pool. Definitely do your research if pool's big to you.
Here's another pool kind of thing that I just thought about. The Strat always had this weird pool on the top, kind of near the side. There was the regular pool for guests. I don't know if it was an employee pool. I'll see if I can pull up a picture to show on the show. But if anybody knows what that pool was used for, I always saw it on like aerials and stuff. It's like this tiny pool off to the side. And yeah, so many interesting, terrible pools in Las Vegas. I think all the good ones get all the coverage. People should embrace the bad ones as well.
The newer one that really doesn't make sense to me is the Top Golf pool. Like, who's going to Top Golf? And you know what? I'm gonna bring my bathing suit. I'm gonna hang out in the pool there. It just doesn't make any sense why they put it there. I don't get it. I don't know if it's used or not. I've only been to Top Golf once, and I didn't really pay attention to it. So I don't know. Hopefully somebody can let us know in the comments. Like, have you ever hung out at the pool there? Is it even still a thing?
Speaking of Top Golf, Vital Vegas shared something that was shared with him about Atomic Golf. We talked about how they laid off a third of their employees, which was like 250 people. So they have an insane number of employees there.
We didn't know that they had 750 at the time. That's nuts.
Yeah, I think Vital Vegas shared the number, said it was about a third. But another story came out this week that people are baking inside there. There's no air conditioning in the bays, apparently. And obviously, when you're playing golf, you're playing into where the sun sets. So in the afternoon now in the summer, people are just baking. It's hot, uncomfortable. Another challenge for them in that area. The location's a challenge. They're not doing well. Place looks beautiful, but they had to have thought of this.
Yeah, somebody made a comment about that, how it was facing, the sun, and I don't know what they're thinking because that's the worst time to golf is when you're hitting into the sun. You can't see where your ball's going. You can't even tell like if you're getting points. I know the monitor probably tells you when it lands in certain pods or whatever. But if you can't watch it, like that takes away the fun. And yeah, you're going into summertime, they're already struggling, and you're going into peak ball sweat season. So if you don't have something to cool you down, it's going to be terrible.
So to entertainment news, and this week, Love, as it's doing its final few weeks of shows, it's starting to say its goodbyes. Ringo showed up to do a PR thing saying goodbye to Love, which was kind of cool. But another Vegas celebrity showed up, one that we haven't heard a lot about, one who's been ill. Celine Dion showed up at Love. And not only that, there was videos from behind the scenes where she's dancing, goofing, singing. She looks great. Hopefully this means that maybe we'll see her back performing in Vegas soon.
Yeah, it was cool to see, she's been fighting all the ailments and different stuff going on the last couple of years. Hasn't been feeling well. We haven't really seen her out anywhere. So it's cool to see not only that she's out and about, but also that she seems to be having fun, smiling, laughing, all that stuff. And it's cool for Ringo to come out and say goodbye to the show and all that. Do you think this will move anywhere? Do you think it has a chance? Was it successful enough to kind of switch to a different property, or do you think it kind of ran its course?
I think it could be great as a touring production. Of course, they would have to figure out how to get the set pieces and make it work for that. But I think the Beatles' music is sort of iconic and it transcends generations. And I could see this being popular. I don't think they've said anything about it, but I would love to see it, uh, no pun intended, go around the country or find a new home somewhere. Why did that make you laugh so much?
Because it's so dumb. Love, love, love it. It would be great.
On the last show, we talked about how MGM had donated over 5 million meals to 3 Square Food Bank, a great charity in Las Vegas that feeds tons of people. And this week, we can talk about Restaurant Week. It's starting June 3rd through the 14th. And so many restaurants participate in this now. Tons on the strip, tons off the strip. They all have prefix meals. It could be breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I think breakfast is as cheap as $20. Dinner goes from 30 to 120, depending on the restaurant. You're always going to get 3 courses. And each restaurant decides how much they're going to donate. It's either $4, $5, or $6 per meal. What's really cool is for every dollar that they take in, they can feed up to 3 people or provide up to 3 meals, meaning that, if you're getting $6 for a meal, that's 18 meals for people. So this is really beneficial. And it's also a great way to try out some cool restaurants a little cheaper and that you may not always want to go to because they're very expensive.
Yeah, I think that's the real key. Like if you have one that, kind of like a top-notch restaurant that you've always wanted to check out, like an aspirational type of dining, and you just know you can't afford it normally, this gives you that opportunity, makes it more accessible. I mean, 120 on the high end, still pretty expensive, but there are a lot of times you can maybe go for lunch and get it, 30, $40. It'll give you opportunity to get in the door, as well as you can hop around to different restaurants, get it cheap. I know somebody did, I think it was in New York, they did it where they ate like breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day at one of these for like a week long and stuff. So I think that'd be a cool thing if anybody does it. But yeah, it's such a good opportunity and so cool, and it's good for the restaurants, good for the food bank. I'm glad that this keeps growing and they bring it back every year.
Yeah, I'd love to show everybody a list of the restaurants that are participating, but it'd be easier to show a list of the ones that are not. I mean, it's crazy to see how many of the restaurants, especially on the strip, are doing it, but all over the city too. So it's a good chance to see some of these really cool off strip places, or if you're local, to try some of these places. And some of these menus look great. I haven't had a ton of time. I've dived into probably like 20 of them, but there are so many restaurants and very aspirational. And many of these restaurants do keep the menus after the end of restaurant week. So there is potential if you're coming to town a little bit later that you may be able to get this. So keep an eye out on that. So we know Mirage is closing, and we talked about Love closing, and the construction demolition permits have been filed and approved for the destruction of the volcano and basically all of the construction that's going to happen at Mirage once it closes in not too long from now. And they're going to have to get work started, I think, by November 26th. But basically the first thing to go is the volcano. They're going to start work on that tower. They have a lot of work to do for the foundation, for all the building work. So pretty much as soon as they shutter, you're going to see that volcano go away.
Yeah, I expect it to happen pretty quickly. I mean, we've seen how quickly the Trop is taking stuff down. The volcano is like the easiest front facing thing that they need to knock down to get started on the guitar tower. So I expect that to go quickly. Hopefully, everybody that really wants to see it one last time can make it out there before it goes down, and hopefully it's operational and running when you are there. That's the worst, when you go to see something to say goodbye and it's like not working that day or that weekend or whatever it be. That kind of happens with volcanoes sometimes. So hopefully they keep the money pumping into it and take care of it the way they should, unlike the Trop, where they just let things fall apart towards the end and everybody gets their send off that they want to do for Mirage, and they do this the right way.
I hope we get some summer storms and people get a chance to see it in the rain. I've had the opportunity to do that a couple times, and it's even cooler for some reason. So love it in the rain, love it anyways. It's fun, it's a neat show. Hopefully everybody will see it because yeah, it's gone forever in just 5 weeks or something like that. So it's very sad indeed. As a reminder, we have our Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to our weekly after show. Mark and I, if you haven't got enough laughs on this show, tons more back there, and a great community of people. We really appreciate all the support. Patreon.com/MTM Vegas for all of the information. So as we get halfway through the year here, F1 will be top of mind in just a few months as all the preparations are underway. But if you were worried about construction, don't worry about F1. The strip improvement project that they've been doing for a couple of years is now kind of going into high gear on the south end of the strip, basically between Park MGM and Harmon, meaning that over the next few weeks, there'll be tons of lane closures down to one lane in many areas. They're trying to limit the work to at night, but no doubt with cones and everything, it's still going to affect things during the day. So once that's done, then we'll probably be into the F1 construction too. So it's probably going to be ugly for a while.
Yeah, I mean the strip. You have to do road work. You just like at times, but it just stinks that they let it build up, and it's kind of like all piling up with Tropicana and now this and then F1. And it's like been going on for a year now, and it's coming back in another wave. So it's just everybody has to deal with it on a regular basis. Probably hates it, and it makes it tougher to travel there and to get around and to do the things you want to do. So just be aware of it. Hopefully you can take back streets and all that stuff and get around it, but yeah, one lane is just going to be awful.
And they're doing like new sewer pipes and all kinds of signage improvements and technological improvements. So this is a very important project for the entire strip area. And they've been doing this again for a while in different sections. So it's part of that project. And then word is that when they're done, they'll just start all over again. Just kidding on that, but it is what it is. Thankfully,
Kinda.
it's mostly at night. So yeah, well, I mean, it's Las Vegas. Anybody who's been in Las Vegas enough or lived there long enough knows that pretty much once they finish a project, then they just start the next project on the same road. So yeah, that's just the way we do it. And it's good for tourists to experience what it's like to be a Las Vegan.
They want to keep those construction companies rolling. You make the road good enough to last just long enough till you finish the end of it, and then you start the beginning again. It's like that everywhere.
And so we covered maybe a month ago the All Net Arena project was dead. That's not a month ago. That was a little while ago. But the old Wet and Wild said a new owner has emerged saying they're going to build an NBA arena there. And we, being skeptical, certainly, but they hired a pretty big contractor for it. And now they've hired a pretty big development firm. LVXP is the name of the project, and they're hiring ACOM to carry out the design and engineering. This company has done work on a lot of stuff, including T-Mobile Arena, my beloved Lambeau Field, and they also designed the new Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California. That's the new home of the Clippers, right?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, it definitely gives some credence to this, a little bit more credibility that they hired this firm. Who knows? I feel like Vegas is going to go to from no NBA arenas to having three in like the next couple years, and not have an NBA team, which I know they'll definitely get one at some point. But it's kind of wild that all these people want to build an NBA. You already have T-Mobile that would work, but NBA doesn't want it. You have the one by the train station that they're saying they're going to build, and now this one. Like, how are we going to do? What are you going to do with all these arenas?
Hey, if LA can have two basketball teams, why can't we? Maybe Las Vegas just ends up with two teams. What a dream that would be. This is also supposedly going to have the tallest hotel in the city. Remember that 2,500 rooms they say they're going to build as part of this. So, I mean, this would be great for properties like Sahara, like Fontainebleau, the north end of the strip. So, there's a lot of hope, I'm sure, behind this, and there's some big names behind it as well. It definitely feels like it's more of a solid project than AllNet ever was. There's also that competing arena on the South Las Vegas Boulevard, south of the Strip, where the company developing it has a lot of experience in NBA arenas, including the one in Seattle and stuff like that. So there's a lot of competing interests here among people that have the experience and money, but they're doing the basic things now that they need to do, at least to be taken seriously. And I would love to see something on that land. It's been sitting empty since Wet and Wild was shuttered. There was supposed to be a casino condo project there. That's why they closed the water park. That fell through, I don't know, almost 20 years ago now. And it's just a hole in the ground, basically. So let's get something there.
Yeah, it just seems like a lot getting punched into this. It's not that huge of a plot of land. When you walk by, it doesn't seem like you can fit a big NBA arena and then a massive. I know it's a tower, but you're not going to get the full resort feel. I don't think if they go that way. I'd much rather see it just be like a mega resort type of thing. A new casino, but I do hope something goes in there. The north end of the strip definitely needs it. It would kind of tie the whole area together and help everybody. So I think it would just be good for that area to have something there. I don't know that a basketball arena is the best thing, or I don't know that it's going to happen there. It just seems maybe because all net's still in the back of our mind. We're like, yeah, they've been saying that for 20 years now. But seems like a more serious group. So we'll see. Like if this project starts, if they kick it off at the end of the year, like they say, or early next year, does that make the other one stop and not want to do it? Or are we just going to have like arenas galore and then just for concerts or what? It's kind of bizarre, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
And let's finish with this. My favorite video of the week. It was supposed to be an opening for a future video, but I'm just going to throw it out there now. Fremont Street delivering again. We're going to sandwich the show between two beautiful Fremont Street videos. We love the entertainers on Fremont Street. Obviously, you have the basic characters that you can take pictures with. Then there's musicians, there's artists, there's all kinds of talented people down there. And then there's this guy, the snake. And I'm sure the person who got swallowed knew the guy. I really hope so. But this
I
video
hope
gave
so.
me so much joy. I watched it over and over. I laughed out loud. It is Fremont to a T. It's beautiful. And this is why everybody should visit Las Vegas.
It's got to be like front runner for weirdest video of 2024. I mean, we could just put it on the podium right now. I think it's so bizarre. And when he swallows the lady, it's so weird. I don't know who would sign up for that. Maybe it's his wife. I hope so. Hope he knows her at least, because it's just so bizarre. I mean, if you're walking down Fremont and you see this guy just like flopping around on his belly, what are you thinking? Like,
Somebody said on Twitter that he has been on America's Got Talent or a show similar to that. I forget exactly which one. and he gets rejected all the time. So maybe this is his talent, and he was out there filming something. But I just love these Vegas videos. There were so many good Vegas videos this week. We have so many great intro videos for the future. But if you needed a chuckle, I think this is great. This is just wonderful. And Fremont Street, so I mean, what a great place. You don't like kids there, Mark, but they got fireworks, they got cool pools. Circa with the best sports book, no resort fees at Four Queens, and all of this craziness. That is what makes it unique and special, and that's why I love Las Vegas.
You know what they don't have? The Tom Brady Museum, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's it. So you still got to go to the Strip to Fontainebleau, all those Super Bowl rings and everything else. So let us know what you guys think about anything we talked about today. The Mirage Volcano. Are you sad? Are you going to make a final trip there to see it? The potential NBA arena on the old Wet and Wild site, that drone show at Rio, the great pools that we showed you here in Las Vegas, everything else, Kung Fu fighting. Have you ever done that in the middle of a casino when you're a little tipsy? Let us know in the comments. We normally do 2 shows a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, but I'm in Japan, so I'm going to take the second show off. So this will be the only show this week. Really appreciate everybody who watches. Leave us a comment, subscribes, thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching. See you next week. Have a great one.
Have a great week, everybody. It raises all boats, or whatever. A flood raises all boats. What's the saying? What the hell's that saying?
Something like that.
Yeah.
We do this live,
All
folks.
right,
We'll
we'll just cut that out.